the dawn of terror, any capital ship, use your empire as a testing ground, he would
wanted to test his security, like for them to see how well they could do
that without telling any of his guardsmen. People would die, but so they could prevent any unnecessary deaths.
Honestly, it probably wouldn't matter, because unless you're using something that destroys something on the literal magic, on the level of medical technology they have, they can bring people back from the atomic level like you would fucking what's it called, Deadpool or Wolverine.
Attention to the
Yeah.
designated grid zone!
If my empire was to test the dawn of terror, there is theoretically your people would not be able to bring the ones back that suffered the round, because it moved. This is the dawn of terror launches a 30,000 the speed of, or is either.
I will say this:
70% the speed of light.
Imagine the terror your soldiers would feel if you didn't tell them about this, and then all of a sudden they just saw my nation's leader sway his hand, and the entire round just disappear. Like, that would probably that would be the biggest way to instill fear in anyone, to completely just say, to a single weapon, fuck off.
It would. But I would also assume it would take a lot of power to...
Oh, it would take half his power, like, to completely disregard a weapon of that size, strength. It would take a decent chunk of his power, but he wouldn't be out of the fight.
Yeah. See, what the beauty of the Dawn of Terror is that it's not like a normal gun. You know, you can reload it in mere 2 seconds because it uses a fast automated loading system.
Oh shit.
The gun is not actually manned by humans.
Well, here's the thing. When I say he makes it disappear, remember my character, or my group, they specialize directly when it comes to combat in redirecting rounds. What he probably would do is literally make an anomaly and redirect it back at the attack. And he would physically be the only one who's capable of doing such a feat.
I can see that. I'm not trying to brag that the gun's overpowered.
No, your gun is overpowered. It's clear because it's your most powerful weapon.
It's an anti-capital warship weapon that was originally designed to shoot down asteroids.
I think the most terrifying thing, because technically my race doesn't have a super weapon, but if there's like a few super weapons we have, but the biggest one that, like, the most visual one is what's it called? The Ethros. The Ethros gravitational cannon, which fucks with gravity so much that it turns an entire planet into a black hole in mere moments.
There is technically the terror class weapons. There is the Dawn of Terror, the Novamac, the 7 Pillars of Terror, Nemesis class Titan, and the Aerial Arsenal Bird, or Aerial.
I was gonna say. And this is a loose name that I'm just coming up with right now because I learned how the weapons work.
Yeah.
It's called the Panthronic Titan Defense System, or the Titan Destruction System. Essentially, it is where my character he decides he needs to use this. He sends out his very own power. Basically, my character uses his own power to alter genetics into such a terrifying disease that it will almost indefinitely spread through our planet in a speed that is incomprehensible. that it will by the end of the month that planet is doomed. It is gone. There is no one left. Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying, we're trucking over like our people's like super weapons, which my group doesn't have really that many super weapons. We just have weapons that are effective. Could even run a bio cruiser.
They're not loving it.
I actually showed you what the bio cruiser looks like, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's that flying creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually very effective if you think about it. If you have a creature like a cruiser that actually heals itself.
You know what truly make the Terror Guard network truly terror?
What?
The fact that there's only one gun of the network build, which is the Dawn of Terror. In lore, there was planned to be 9 weapons to form an iron dome that stretched over, 20,000 kilometers. From the entirety of the Imperial Palace. It stretched the entirety of the continental U.S.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, I'm in frame shift for the moment.
Yeah, I was wondering if what I posted was acceptable for now, for my Empire.
I am 18 jumps away. But, yeah. I said, Ryan, I'm 18 jumps away. Yeah. Yeah. So, there's only one gun. So, in lore, I have it, there's...
Huh? Yeah, no, he comes from a different galaxy.
Yeah. The original design of the weapons were not intended for shooting out ships. They were intended to shoot down the Ulysses asteroid that was... I still need to do that, honestly.
I was just putting that down. I was just putting that down, like a basic what they have.
I named off the Capital Home. I know I named off the Capital Home Fleet ships, but I never gave their designation and what class ships they are. Yeah, anyways, as I was saying. Someone's trying to interdict me.
Who's supposed to talk now?
It's me. I was distracted because I got interdicted.
Alright.
And the Terror Guard network was planned. It was a plan of 9 weapons to form an iron dome. They were built in the wake of the discovery of the Ulysses asteroid, a massive, almost 1 mile wide asteroid that was reported to hit Earth. Yes, I'm taking this from Ace Combat. One gun of the network was completed. This gun was the only one to see action against the asteroid. The other 8 bases and command centers for the guns were built. Turret number 2 had its full stand support constructed for the guns. Yep, the mount and everything for the gun. and it was in the final processes of getting the gun ready and mobilized for to be installed. But as war broke out, the construction of the Terror Guard network was halted, and it was never resumed. That gun for turret number 2 still sits in a facility to this day.
Why didn't you ever finish it?
Because, as we all know, my empire fell into stagnancy, and their knowledge of technology regressed back.
Oh, so they don't actually have the plans to fix it.
Prints and everything. These blueprints are locked away, safe in a storage within the Imperial Palace that only the Emperor and his custodians can access. But they've... Yep. Yep.
I was about to say, bro, what the fuck? All I imagine is that one of the nations is literally just the SCP Foundation that grew so powerful that it became a nation.
You know what's funnier is one empire could theoretically get a hold of the blueprints of my technology, but none of them would have the know-how.
Yeah, no, we would have
the
no
technology. Yeah.
I think at best we might be able to use it to adhere to our own technology in very, very rough forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, do I need to fix up what I have? Because I was writing that down just to say there's numbers.
Yeah. I only gave... I only gave the numbers of my armies as just reference points, because I still need to type out all the classes of the Navy and all that.
Follow me! Returning to the base!
Oh yeah, no, I was just putting that as like the basic thing, and then in his chart I was gonna add the actual like lore to each one of their vessels, their stuff. And I was gonna say, the reason he has so many of the smaller ships is because they're they dwarf. I mean, what's it called? They are dwarfed by every other ship. Like they are the size of like almost a standard civilian ship. It's just that they're much more highly trained and they have much more precision stuff to them. They just don't expend that much, and they're roughly almost always sent out to do like humanitarian work. That's why he has so many reserves and not many active military.
So I had the SMS Beowulf Walker.
Oh well, yeah, no, it's my empire is mostly humanitarian, and a lot of their ships they're equipped with weaponry and such, but it's not supposed to be as big. Rather than they're supposed to be more maneuverable and deadly. Alright. God damn. Wait, how did they skip the curse? Oh. Oh.
You know, that is virtually terrifying.
I think my race's most powerful follow the same thing. They make their bodies adaptable. Well, they're not humans. They look humanoid. Fair enough. I think my race's special ability, like their special up thing, is that they can directly phase their bodies if trained enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From where? Excuse me?
That works.
Oh, so he wasn't out. Okay. I'll keep that in consideration.
And the Federal Quest carrier is one of the lesser, well not lesser, but one of the fleet carriers of the Imperium of Nazareth. Whereas the Event class carrier is
I knew I should have
their
shot the guy when he was
super
flying
carrier,
straight.
if you will.
Yeah, they're like yours. They are technically they perfectly biological adaptability.
Sorry. Thanks.
I would imagine not, because even there's probably only one man on the in the entirety of my race, which is the leader, who can adapt to perfectly anything. Oh shit. That might be one of the few planets that. Wow. Yeah, no, Yeah, the only one in my race that could survive that is the leader. It would be a stretch to say that the councilors could survive, but that's maybe only for a few hours on that world. Damn. Yeah.
Wouldn't that mean that most of the supplies would technically be destroyed upon arrival? As I'm thinking of course, of Krieg. What?
Fuck you, double tap. I'm gonna quad tap that shit. But just don't stop till
Hey
your clip is
yo,
empty.
let's have them and a Death Course of Krieg fight each other. I wonder who will win.
It'd most likely be a stalemate.
Life could be a dream.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see it.
I'm writing out lore for my leader, and then I'm gonna start writing out lore for the ships and such.
I'm trying to type down. Yeah, we can hear you.
I hear you. I don't think they hear me.
I can hear you, Mike. I'm just trying to write down the different weapons that my Navy uses.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, jumps.
What? I'm gonna be honest with you. That kind of sounds like the one of the weapons they have. It's like a bio. It's a biocan. It's one of the leader's specialty weapon. It is complete terror. It is something that he biologically, in his own thought, makes a bioweapon that he has full control over no matter what. Sends it into the planet, and it does his complete bidding. It will kill off entire planets in days, and completely and biologically perfect anything he wants. Veraki Hoverworld is like, I'm confused. I thought I was killing some plants. What the fuck? The Veraki's like, bro, what the hell happened to our curse? What did you do? I always wondered, could it be... Hey, yo, Jeff. Oh, I was about to say, like, I know that Kurt's gonna fuck him over, but could it be possible to make a bio weapon that technically works on a level of constantly healing them in competition with that? Maybe. I mean, that would probably take my leader's the most of my leader's ability to do that. That shit would probably take him a decade or two.
Yeah.
But it could possibly be done if he puts all his resources to it. What would be a fair trade for that? A bio weapon that physically that basically nullifies the light curse.
I don't know.
They get it, and then they just murder his entire race. Damn.
Yeah, it'd probably kill the entire race.
Why? Why would they kill my... Actually, never mind.
The curse would probably kill the race, my bad.
Oh. The curse is like, I'm sorry. So, y'all aren't happy with what I gave you, so you want just a magic man, and now you're perfectly healthy. What is this shit?
Yeah.
The curse is like, am I a joke to you?
Most likely.
He's like, nah, bro. Somebody came here, dippity zap, zoop zap, and he fixed everything.
Very much.
Wonder how pissed off the god or whatever creature put that curse. I was like, what the fuck? What the hell's going on here? Aren't you miserable?
Come back.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask. Theoretically, could you make something that does not like cure them, but just heals them at a rate that basically nullifies the blight curse? Damn. Yeah, I was legit going. I was just. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Not go.
I was gonna say I've added a bit of the weapons that the Imperial Navy uses. So for mine, you've basically got the Mac cannon and the Super Mac. Then you have the 0-point defense network, which is basically miniature AA guns for point defense batteries. You got, this is just a class, but it's the Void AA, which is just normal AA guns. I decided to add the Tachyon Lance as particle weapons. I have my own. The 0-point Tachyon Lance is basically just a fine-tuned, high-powered particle beam laser. And the 0-point Tachyon AA. Same thing, but as an anti-aircraft weapon.
Oh yeah, Waffle. I now have a fighter that would legit one-tap and technically outturn pretty much everything. So yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised you haven't wanted to join in on the Empire building.
Referring to if you want to fly and grind a little bit.
What's up?
But yeah, Jeff, I was thinking that would be a cool interaction. Is that you have, you like you get my nation to test your security, specifically because they're a special skill set.
Yeah.
You send the message to start. The first thing you see is just like my guy strolling in there with like tea and crumpets. Like, hey, what up, bro? It's like, hey, how the fuck?
Yeah.
When did you get in here? I've been in here for 2 days, bro. Where's your cookies?
Then you just got the fucking entity just watching back. Yes. I smell a discrepancy.
I smell a discrepancy. What the fuck is that thing?
Oh, this thing? Yeah, we just call that the entity. Yes.
No, the entity just looks at me, is like, what the fuck is that thing and why is it here? It's called a Delph.
What happened? Alright. Sure.
Very strict when it comes to these matters. According to the FTC, even so much as simply mentioning a brand on social media is considered an endorsement. And if you do have a
Just giving me an idea for the melee weapons the basic custodians use.
joint owners. In the settlement, the FTC ordered that the respondents must not make any misrepresentation about any consumer or other endorser of such product or service.
Sure. Guess who's here?
That's just basic bio of my leader.
Found 3B. Missions. Rid of the mission.
Well done.
Why is there so many degraded? Why is there so many degraded missions? Huh. Nice. Alright. Alright, are you still in the wing? Yeah. Just keep moving around. Alright. It's gonna take a little bit for me to leave the wing.
Own Chief Advisor, Mark Haspel. In my previous video, I spoke briefly about Mark Haspel, the Chief Advisor of Fortune Games, and how he was intentionally going around buying up games. Specifically, he was buying the kinds of games that ended up rising in value the most. It looked like he already knew where the market was heading, and
What was it? Yeah.
I hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Hey, what's it called? I'm gonna leave for now. But Ryan, what do you think of? Oh, Ryan, Jeff, what do you think of my leader's quick bio?
Pretty good.
Yeah, the picture I just using because I love that picture. Fucking album card. Yeah, see you later. Oh, I started writing down all my ships and other lore.
Phantom's gone. See, this is the only time my internet at its peak performance is now. So anything I want to do, I think I have to do it
What planet
now.
are we supposed to go to?
And as soon as it becomes daytime, my internet's gonna screw over itself.
I can't even find you, that's the problem. 6 gauge.
Oh. I can't go there. I got a meeting to attend. The end of the freaking week. I can't remember. I'll make it earlier. Or not?
Six H. Yeah. Yeah.
Which brings us to the Carolina collection, which, if you remember from the past video, was one of the most complete collection of sealed Nintendo games that exists in computer zone.
Why is this plane still freaking flying?
In 2019, Water Games even released a press release about the sale. Lieutenant Dunn virtually
orbiting destination.
The Nintendo Age forums were never taken away, nor were any of the forums' information, discussion. He is correct in saying that the forums were never taken away, as they were moved to his website, going for them. But Nintendo Age wasn't a forum. Nintendo Age had a forum, but his description of Nintendo Age as a forum makes about as much sense as saying speedrun.com is a forum just because it has one. Nintendo Age was first and foremost a database, and its role as a database was always its primary function. You can see on the old website that the forum was merely a tiny section. The majority of the website contained information on every single Nintendo console and every game you could imagine. It was collated and created by passionate collectors over many years, and they sunk countless hours into building it. If you wanted to know information about any game, including its rarity, cost, variation, and much more, this is where you would go. This database is gone. It no longer exists on the internet except for the limited pages you can retrieve through the Wayback Machine. I find it impossible to believe that Jeff doesn't know it. So my instinct is to believe that he is intentionally being deceptive about what Nintendo Age was. And it wasn't just Nintendo Age either. Jeff also bought Sega Age and PlayStation Age. Again, they were databases full of information about games. Everything is gone. Claiming that these websites were just a forum is insane, and it's so obviously proven to be a lie. It's astonishing that it was said. With all of that said, Jeff, unlike the other people spoke about, did reach out to me to talk. Unfortunately, we haven't yet, which, to be honest, is entirely my fault, but we will talk soon. Perhaps there is some misunderstanding here, and it will be interesting to hear what he has to say when we speak. Until then,
Move after me.
he is still being deceptive.
And I'll engage wingman navlock.
That we should hold final judgment. Then, I will put his full response in the description. And very quickly, I was also contacted by Dane Anderson, who was the person that sold Nintendo Age and the Carolina Collection to Jeff Meyer. For our conversation, it really does seem like Dane, if anything, was a victim himself. He was no longer a part of water when the transaction occurred, and as far as he was concerned, the websites were to remain online and functional. He didn't know they would go offline, and he advised me that he wouldn't have sold it if he knew this beforehand. Now, throughout this video, you've heard me talk about FTC regulations, and I'm pretty confident in my analysis of the situation, but just to be sure, I asked a professional lawyer to take a look at a few specific instances to get a second opinion. So I would like to give a very warm welcome to a leader of the YouTube channel Legal Wise, who will share your opinion on some of these issues.
Hi there, my name is Alita, and I'm a lawyer licensed in California and DC. I run the YouTube channel Legal Bites, where we explain the law one second at a time. I'd like to take a look at the situation from a legal perspective, and I thought I would take a few minutes to highlight a few things. This situation, as Ron described it, is obviously very concerning to say the least. But is there anything here that would lead us to believe there might be something happening that is actually unlawful? To figure that out, we can put out a question out the FTC Act and the FTC guidelines, which are the regulations that give guidance towards these kinds of situations, and will apply the rules to three situations. First, the 2019
What?
auction press release. Second, the Aquatic Games press release about the commission. And finally, the appearance.
Huh.
For starters, the FTC guidelines generally uses a rule to carry out any acts that unfair methods of competition in or unfair rules and tax practices. Again, in or affecting commerce. To determine what kinds of acts can
Either my internet's going down or Wi-Fi connection's bad.
consumers are likely to believe complexity, opinions, beliefs, findings, or experiences worthy of other than the sponsoring advertiser. So this can be statements made in advertisements on TV or on social media or press releases. Now, what's important in this case is that
National University offers 100% online degree program with flexible 4-week classes, so you can earn your degree from your schedule. Scholarships available. Apply today at nu.edu. ORU Absolute Legend. The year
So what's
is
the coordinates supposed to be going to?
This is me balancing a Guitar Hero controller on my chin. The controller wasn't mine. It belonged to my housemate, and truth be told, this was the most action the controller had seen in a long time. By 2000,
tell me about it.
He did things that simply no one else could do. For a span of 2 years, he amassed a long list of world firsts, only playing speed they were meant to be played. By the accounts of most other top players, and even Shui himself, he was the greatest the world had ever seen. In fact, he may have even been
Leading for landing.
some of his accomplishments seemed inhuman, but Shui had been around for so long and had seemingly proven himself so many times that the thought of any trickery taking place was immediately brushed off. There were some red flags, though, certain glitches that seemed to crop up, albeit behaviors that could be explained. However, there was nothing concrete, and he was so trustworthy that any investigations were half-hearted and didn't result in anything meaningful. Then, a bombshell dropped. In December of 2021, Shmui posted another world first, playing through the song 9 Patterns of Eternal Pain without missing a single note, something that no one else had ever done. Everyone was blown away, and the comment section of the YouTube video was once again flooded with comments of amazement. But there was one player who noticed something that was off. The finger patterns that Shmui was using through one of the song's trickiest sections wasn't correct. Based on what he was actually playing on the guitar,
Drop him over cruise, Troy.
this oddity was too egregious to ignore, and sparked another investigation from several of the top players. This time, they were serious, and what they uncovered was one of the most prolific examples of cheating we've ever seen. Shmui had been faking most of his accomplishments for years. In this video, we will take a look at this most recent example of cheating and examine both the methodology used by Shmui to fool his peers
Video I've
and
already
also the
seen.
mistakes he made that led to his
It's
ultimate
about,
demise. It's a
He
fascinating
is cheating in the
story
Guitar
and I
Hero
really
history is finally
hope you
caught.
enjoy. Now, Legends 2022 is upon us, and I promise you, this will be your luckiest year yet. And when you do get lucky, you want to make sure you are looking your best, which is why you should be trimming and grooming your special area.
I'm fucking
When you get this
109
round down
kilometers
there,
out.
you need to be using the best tool for the job, which is where today's video sponsor, Manscaped, has got you covered. Using the lawnmower, trimming is incredibly safe and easy. I've used it many times and have literally never had a nickel cut. It's waterproof, so we use it in the shower and it takes like 2 minutes, plus there is no cleanup needed. I recommend getting a performance package because it contains everything you need to look and smell great. Take it from a married man. When you look clean, your partner will treat you better. And the best part is, if you use my link in the description, you get 20% off plus free shipping. So click the link in the description, pick up a lawnmower today. While the initial Guitar Hero mania that was so prevalent in the late 2000s has long since waned, and the popularity of the game has seen a steady decline over the past 15 years, the competitive scene of Guitar Hero has seen
Not okay, but sure, forgo that.
while being an unofficial port, is extremely faithful to the original franchise, and was
Okay, you know,
created essentially
screw
out of
this.
necessity due to the official PC ports being horribly botched, featuring very low note limits and frequent crashes. For all intents and purposes, the game is basically the same,